A beautiful day. Okay, first thing I want to do is apologize for the late start. I actually wanted to start earlier around 6. It got pushed back for various different reasons. I want to apologize about that. Second, today, obviously in court, for everybody that don't know, TAXSTONE case, we actually were covered a lot that had to do with the logistics of the handling of the weapon and firearm and everything. But before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Inner City Press. Inner City Press pulled up today. Salute, homie. We gonna have him on the let me fix my calendars over here. We gonna have him on the program at some. I do not need this sweater, right? We're gonna have Inner City Press on the program at some point. I've already spoken with him. He said that he would love to pull up with us and have a conversation with us on the program. So we're gonna have Inner City on the program at some point. Shout out to Darkwing. Hey. Shout out to Darkwing. He says, "What up, Jack?" Dropping all those full salutations. Salutations to you, my good brother. What up, Kansas City? Says, "What up, Jack?" What up, Art of D Glass? He says, "Good evening, fam." Let me just get myself together over here. Fix this time online. So today, apparently, they had a testimony that's actually going to be extremely relevant. All of the testimony is relevant, obviously. They had testimony today that we're going to go over. They had one person that actually took the stand. They had a lot of evidence read into. A lot of evidence was read into the transcripts. Basically, a lot of evidence was read into it. We're gonna go over that. Give me one moment. What happened also is at 6. Well, if I would have went live at 6 o'clock like I was planning, I actually looked at all of our what we would have been speaking on, what we would have been talking about. I didn't think it was too much. I didn't think we was gonna take like 2 or 3 hours to get it done. So I didn't see it was of paramount importance to do it too early. I didn't think it was like I wasn't rushing. You understand what I'm saying? So let me just fix this tie real quick. I mean, I could just take it off, to be honest with you. Take it off. I could just take it off, to be honest with you. Let me just fix the tie real quick. Take 2 seconds. But everybody's always asking about the support everybody is receiving in court. Every day, TAXSTONE receives a lot of support in court, and every day, Banger also receives a lot of support in court. I want to say a couple of things before we start this. I'm hoping that nobody that is a part of either which one of their families thinks that I am in any way attempting to slander any of their names. I'm not that type of person. Like, I'm literally just not that type of person. I have no affinity towards anyone in this situation. To be honest with you, I'm just trying to do my job the best way that I can, and that is to get the information out to the people and let you come to your own opinions about what shouldn't happen, or just be apprised of the situation, because all of these type of tragedies are lessons. Hopefully, we won't repeat many of these things. Hopefully, people will be more mindful about how they choose to create and use their violence. Hopefully, that's all we could ever ask, right? Hopefully. Anyway, let's open up the paperwork real quick. Shout out to Inner City Press. We're gonna have Inner City Press on at some point. He pulled up in the courtroom today. He's gonna be in the courtroom tomorrow with us. He said people are asking him to cover the case, so he's on it. That's always a pleasure. Since we didn't have anybody else, we had one other guy. I don't really want to say his name, but I don't have no problem with him or nothing like that. I just think he got a problem with me, so I prefer not to say his name. But it will be nice to have Inner City also covering it, because then I could have him come up on the show with me and talk with me about these what's going on in court, and then you could really see that I am in no way being biased at all, not even a little bit. So started it off. Court started today at 2:32. The jury entered. They read into the records a ton of things. Basically, just so we can be clear, they needed to read into the records the evidence. That's what they had to read into the evidence. They had to read into the records the evidence, just so we could be clear. They had to read into the evidence, the records. There was a witness. There was one witness that took the stand today. Her name was Vanessa Martinez. She is an NYPD laboratory criminalist special supervisor. Apparently, what her job is she upgrades the software. She's a manager in the office. She's been doing this like 1 year. Just for there's this thing called libs. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce it. She also works in the controlled substance lab, the trace unit. Basically, the trace unit is the best way to explain it. I'm going to explain it the way that she explained it. Like, let's say you have a car and the car hits a pole. Any of the materials from the pole that gets onto the car and any of the materials from the car that gets onto the pole, that is then traced. So she's part of that type of unit. If, in other words, gunshot residue and things as such. So that's like her specialty, just so we can be clear. So that's what they spoke about today, the gunshot residue, and that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. That's basically what they spoke about today, just so we can be clear. Shout out to Charlie Champion. How you doing? What up, Argu? Argu? He said, yo. What up, Air? How you doing? What up, Bruce Banner? What up, KJ? Yeah, in the city. So, just so we can be clear, she covers in the city is usually in the federal court. He's usually in federal court, just so we can be clear. Anyway, so the controlled substance lab she's part of, they talked about the gunshot residue today. A lot of gunshot residue conversation. But I have a lot to get to on that. I also have a ton to get to on some other things. I tried to write it down the best way that I can in order for me to be able to disseminate the information to you guys. But before we talk about her actual testimony, I want to tell you about something else first. So they had exhibits 1 through 19. Do y'all remember earlier when we first started, the first day I told y'all that there was going to be 18, no, there was going to be some stuff read into evidence. It's 18 statements read into evidence. I believe these were the 18 statements that they're speaking about that was read into evidence. I want to just go over the 18 statements. It's going to be much quicker than discussing her testimony. So I just want to go over this real quick so y'all can understand what we were doing today. So basically, just so we could be clear, they were going through the chain of events of the weapons that were used, the weapons that were recovered. They was going through the chain of events for the records that was covered. It was going through the chain of events of the records that was recovered. So basically, they just have a whole lot of detectives, and they're naming the detective's name, and they're talking about what they had. But I want to say this much. Once again, this is, I don't understand it, but you could do with it what you want. But once again, Casanova's name comes up. Apparently, in an unrelated shooting, Court Exhibit 5, by the way, in an unrelated shooting, Caswell Sr.'s DNA was pulled off of a drink bottle. So the detective was investigating an unrelated shooting that has nothing to do with this. I'm not saying that the drink bottle was at the shooting. All I'm saying is that DNA evidence, they got DNA from Caswell Sr. So I'm going to say this real quick just before we could go any further. I am assuming, I could be wrong, I could be 100% wrong, but I'm assuming that one of the witnesses, at least one of the witnesses, is going to speak about Casanova. I'm going to say this again. I'm assuming this. I do not know this to be true. I'm telling you this right now. You always want to ask me what my opinion is. I'm saying something right now that's an opinion-based thing. One of the witnesses is going to be bringing Casanova up on the stand because, again, they have mentioned Casanova's name, but they don't mention him directly tied to the events of the night. I'm going to say this again. Once again, in Exhibit 5, a detective dealing with an unrelated shooting got DNA off of a drink bottle, and it's Caswell Sr.'s. Don't know how to take that. Write it in the chat, which I think what the heck y'all think that's about. Shout out to Inner City Press. Salute, my brother. I don't know what that's about, to be honest with you. I don't have the slightest idea. But a detective in an unrelated shooting got DNA evidence on a drink bottle from, so I don't understand why it's in here. I don't you understand? I don't know what they're talking about. But it's evidence in this trial. Shout out to DJ Science Kid. He says, salute Force, my brother. You're killing it, bro. Brilliant coverage. My battery died the other night. It's okay. You could make up for it. Somebody dropped the Cash App in the chat. What other exhibits? There was 18 exhibits, like I just told you. That was Exhibit 5. Let me look at the first 3 exhibits. I'm looking at Exhibit 4 right dead in front of my face. Hold on one second. Shout out to Inner City Press. Definitely appreciate you, my brother. Okay, okay. So, what was another evidence that I wanted to mention to y'all real quick? Hold on. Also, coincidentally enough, they keep mentioning that Casanova's name consistently keeps coming up. I'm just expecting one of the I'm just expecting, I might be wrong, what the heck do I know? But I'm expecting for at least one of the witnesses to bring Caswell Sr.'s name up, Casanova's name up. Caswell, that's a dope ass name, by the way. I expect them to bring up one of them to bring him up in when they take the stand, because they just keep mentioning his name, but he's not necessarily tied to anything. So go on with that. Any regard. So they just all of this is chain of evidence for the most part. These exhibits were all chain of evidence. But the one thing I find interesting, it was, I believe, the exhibits went up to 19, I think. But one of the exhibits weren't mentioned. Like they skipped over, was it 15 or 16? I think they skipped right over 15 or 16. I didn't hear it be mentioned. I didn't hear it mentioned. So I don't know what's going on with that. So apparently there was 3 guns. This is just a chain of evidence with the 3 guns and how it was moved throughout the police force. And so basically, and this is a fact, after all of this was done, what up, Banner? After all of this was done, the judge let them know that if they didn't do this the way that they did this, it'll probably be an extra week. And yeah, because if you needed to have all of these witnesses come in just to say, yeah, I did this and I did that. If you have somebody come in and say, I did this and I did that. Oh, that was a fake Inner City Press. So if you have somebody come in and say, I did this and I did that. I did this and I did that. And these people actually had to take the stand to say these little bit of things that they said. It would have been a whole extra week. Shout out to the judge. Shout out to the prosecution. And shout out to the defense team for allowing this to happen and not forcing these guys to just come in and say the logistics of a matter that it isn't going to be able to be disputed because it was just a chain of evidence. All right, let's get to the one witness that happened today. So we had one witness that pulled up today. Her name was Vanessa Martinez. She was a manager in the office. I told y'all all of that. She is an expert when it comes to gunpowder residue. So once again, remember, the defense is defense so far. How they're trying to push this so far, just so we can be clear, is the only person that fired the weapon. The only person that fired the weapon is Troy Ave. That's what the defense is saying. I'm not saying that. Please don't put words in my mouth. I'm just telling you what the defense's argument is. The only person that fired a gun was Troy Ave. TAXSTONE never fired the weapon. So this person is, so basically with Troy Ave being shot, then he would have had to have shot himself, is basically what they're saying. So one thing that she said was, just so we can be clear, they could not determine the exact distance. They could determine a range. So I'm going to explain real quick. Oh, my back's itchy. They cannot determine an exact distance. They can only determine a range. So basically, this is what they do. There's a thing that they call... So basically, they test it, like when they get the firearm, they put the gun, they put it in like a thing that holds it steady. And then they test it at 3-inch increments. Increments of 3. So first is 3 inches, then it's 6 inches, then it's 9 inches. That's how they test it, right? So first they tested, that's way more than 6, 3, and 9. First they tested at about 3 inches, that's about that far. Then they tested at 6 inches, that's about that far. Then they tested at 9 inches, and then they go all the way up till they get to 24. That's how far they tested. So basically, they can't tell an exact distance, but what they can tell is they can't tell the range that is in. Basically, that's what she said. Then she said the items that were tested was a white tee, jeans, and boxers. And she specifically said, and I thought this was funny, and I don't know why nobody didn't laugh. I just didn't laugh because I was holding it in. But apparently, Troy Ave boxers had a hole in it, and it didn't come from the gun. It didn't come from the gun. Yes, they're saying Troy shot Banger and himself. That's what they're saying. That they were wrestling for the gun, and the gun went off, and Troy was the one that fired it. That's what the defense team is saying, by the way. Yeah, so apparently she made it a point to say that there was a hole in the underwear, there was 3 holes in the pants, and there was 4 holes. There was a hole in the underwear, 3 holes in the pants, right? The hole in the underwear did not come from the shooting. That's what she said. I don't get it. I mean, it could have, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to keep this stack. We men, okay? That's not even, we laughing and we joking. But we men, a lot of us, I don't care how much money you got, a lot of us will have them fucking Al Bundy underwear too if our women didn't throw them out. A lot of us, okay? Just so we can be clear. And also, a lot of times our underwear actually get holes in it from the wash. When you put in bleach, the bleach actually starts to create the hole in the underwear. So we can make jokes and shit. Shout out to Av. That nigga. This is what she said, homie. This is what she said. She said that shit. I looked up and looked around. I was like, nobody else thinks this was funny. In any regard, he had 4 holes in his garments. The first hole, she doesn't know how the hole in the boxers got there apparently. Then there was 3 holes in the pants. There was 3 holes in the pants. There was 1 in the boxers, right? Yes, they collected his underwear. What the hell you thought they was gonna do? They had to collect everything. They looking for gunshot residue. So they collect all of his clothes. He just happened to only have on the pants, underwear, and the shirt. Pardon me. If he would have had on more, they would have collect more. The hole is a myth. Yo, this is we should have been listening to our mamas. Never leave the house without perfect underwear, because you do not know what's gonna happen. You have no idea what's gonna happen. Make sure that your underwear is perfect when you leave the house. The underwear he had on is the underwear that you just wear around the crib. He had to just wear around the crib underwear on. Apparently, I'm making a lot of jokes over here, but the way she said, I don't know how it got there. Like, it was like, wait. I'm sorry. But the way she said that was so unnecessary. She was feeling holy. He was extremely feeling holy. He's like, he was robbing out here. He was like, in any regard, the way she said it didn't make no damn sense. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was little. Maybe it was big. Maybe she just didn't see underwear in a long time, and it was just the part that, we supposed to be pissing out of that nobody uses. I don't know if nobody uses it. I don't use that shit. I just pull the underwear down. I don't know what anybody else is doing. In any regard, there was nothing on the underwear. Okay, so the 3 holes that was in the pants, 2 of the holes they found nitrates. 1 of the holes they found nitrates and vaporized lead. So what that means is, listen, man, stop. Let's get off of this whole shit. So, oh man. Also, I'm not sure, I couldn't see TAXSTONE's whole outfit, but I knew he had a white collared shirt on. So all they got to do is just keep him with the white collared shirt, right? He got the 2 suits, maybe 3 suits. Keep him with the white collared shirt, and you could just mix the ties up. Get him like 4 or 5 ties. You mix the tie up every day. Boom. You want to go. And light colors, because you don't want to look like you're the villain. Like, that's a problem. You don't want to look like... Guys be on trial. Not in this trial per se, but guys be on trial and then coming in there looking like they the whole villain. What up, Tawan Sellers? Salute. Shout out to Chicago Clothing. All right, I'm gonna get off of this. I know y'all got jokes. So the 4 holes, 2 of the holes had nitrates on it, right? And 1 of the holes had vaporized lead and nitrate. So I'm going to explain this real quick. And it had patterns. So I'm going to explain this real quick. So when you have... I got a piece of paper right here, right? I hate ripping pages out now. Do I got any... I just do it. I got another book. I'm going to rip a page out of the other book. Hold on. All right, so this is the way I'm gonna explain it. So, basically, it works like this. You got 2 pages here, right? So basically, it works like this. We're gonna flip the pages over. Also, we're gonna fold them. It's not gonna let this shit go. Okay, so we got 2 pieces of paper right here. I folded them. This makes 4 different areas, right? So we're going to say that these are all pieces of clothes, right? So let's say this is the bullet, right? So the bullet gets fired. It goes through the paper, the clothing, right? Boom, right? Bam, right? So basically, this is the where it enters at, right? The first page is where it enters at. So the first page is gonna have gunshot residue on it, but it's also gonna have lead vapor. Now, this side, it might not have, it's gonna have gunshot residue on it also. This side is gonna also have gunshot residue on it, but they're not gonna have vapor. They're not gonna have the lead vapor because the lead vapor is gonna be caught at contact. You understand? So let's say this is the outside shirt, right? Let's say you got two shirts on. This is the outside shirt and this is the inside shirt, right? Let's just do it like this. Outside shirt, inside shirt. So when the bullet goes through, bang, right? What happens is the outside part of the shirt, it not only gets gunshot residue on it, but it also gets lead vapor. And the clothing under it, or the skin, or whatever the hell, the next hole, basically, like let's say, better yet, say it like this. So this is the leg, right? Boom. So this is the gunshot vapor, right? So now you see this side right here where the bullet comes out. The bullet comes out the other side, right? So now I don't want to mark myself. All right, I'm going to draw a diagram. I know what I'm saying, but I don't think I'm being clear enough for people. So I'm going to draw a diagram. Believe me, I just explained it correctly, though. But I'm going to draw a diagram. All right, let's draw some pants, some pantalones. All right, some square pants, right? So this is one hole over here, right? We got two holes over there, right? So I'm trying to see if y'all can see that. Okay. So the bullet went in through here, came out through here, and then went in here and got lodged in here, right? So basically, when the bullet went through this hole right here, it didn't only get gunshot residue over here, it also got lead vapor around this entrance. But this is an exit. On that exit, there is no lead vapor. Do you understand? There's gunshot residue, but there's no lead vapor. So that's how they was able to ascertain which hole the bullets went in. And that's also how they was able to say, and she said the same thing that I said. Remember, I told y'all one bullet did all of that. It wasn't two bullets. It was one bullet. And the proof that she has, and she believes that it was only one bullet, is because the other bullet holes didn't have any lead vapor on it. The other bullet holes had gunshot residue on it. It had nitrates specifically. The other holes had nitrates. All three holes had nitrates. The only hole that didn't have nitrates was the underwear. So all three holes had nitrates. But the pattern is on the entry, and the vaporized lead is on the entry. You understand? The other ones, since the bullet, it was the same bullet, and it was a through and through on the one leg. The other hole did not have any vaporized lead, but it did have nitrates. And she said could have been one bullet. So the residue was only around the first hole. The vaporized lead. Okay, so goes on to say, it was greater than contact, but less than 12 inches. So basically, I'm not even sure how much 12 inches is. 12 inches is like that, right? So it was greater than contact, meaning it was more, like if this is the barrel of the gun and this is the body, it was greater than contact, but it was less than 12 inches. So it was fired probably from about a distance of this. It was greater than contact, but it was less than 12 inches. And the way that they know this is because the way that they determine the gunshot residue and how far the gunshot residue, how far you are is, so basically, we're going to make a cone, right? So basically, this is the gun. This is the bullet. I hope he could take a joke. He could take a joke. He all right. He know that underwear had them damn hole in it. Sometimes we all go outside with underwear. We men. Sometimes we go outside any old way, and we all know it. All right? It is what it is. If you say that you ain't never went outside with a hole in your underwear, you lying. In any regard. So this is a cone, right? So basically the gunshot residue goes like this. I wish I had a piece of tape. I do got tape, but I don't know where it's at. So the gunshot residue go like this. This is the gun, right? So this is the gun. When it's fired, the residue shoots out like this, like in a cone shape. You understand? Do I gotta wipe the camera? I think I gotta wipe the camera. Wipe the lens. The residue shoots out like kind of like in a cone shape. So that's how they can tell how far the gunshot is from the how far by the splatter of the gunshot residue. That's how they could tell. You understand? So the gun is right here. The gun shoots. The residue sprays out like that. It also kicks out the back of the gun. Don't get that confused. But it also sprays out like this, and it's the further you go away from the weapon, the more dispersed it gets. You understand? The more concentrated it is closer to the weapon, and that's how come they can tell how far the person was from the firing is. And generally speaking, they only go up to about 24 inches. So that probably says a lot also. So generally speaking, they only check up to about 24 inches, just so we can be clear. So that's how they test the gunshot residue, the distance and the radius. Excuse me. They didn't show the photo of the jeans. We was able to see the jeans and everything. That's how come I'm telling you this isn't a great. I'm not trying to do a great job of drawing, but they showed the actual jeans, Troy Ave's jeans, and that's basically how the gunshots looked in the jeans. Just so we could be clear, they showed the jeans. I'll do a better drawing real quick. Some pantalones. Oh, that was even worse. What the hell, fam? Why don't I use a marker to begin with anyway? Don't ask me why my pens is down there. Yeah, thank you. Just kick that person. We ain't doing that. Alright, so these the jeans and shit, right? So this is how the hose was in the jeans, just so we can be clear. They showed the jeans. And shout out to the defense team. They didn't linger on the wild ass images. They didn't linger on them. So shout out to the defense team for doing that, not lingering on things that would have been unsettling in order to try to get an emotional response from the jury. Thank you for that. Gotta always remember, you got people, families, and everything in the crowd. Like, what you trying to do? Get people, like, I can understand when it's necessary, but it's not always necessary. It's not always necessary. Please kick that person that's talking about me seeing whatever the hell. Yeah, it's not always necessary. I can understand sometimes it is necessary, but it's not always necessary. I mean, what do I know? How do I know when something is or isn't necessary? You know, it's just my opinion. Okay, so okay, so now we're gonna get to Benga's clothes. Apparently he was wearing a polyester shirt. The shirt he was wearing, the fabric was polyester. So it singed and burned the fibers and melted. They said that the shot from the front was either contact or near contact. So the shot from the front was either contact. The shot from the front was either contact or near contact. It was very, very close. And the shot from the back was 12 inches. And it was multiple holes. So apparently he got shot multiple times. There's multiple holes in his back. I don't know how to take that. They said that the shot that entered, that he got shot in the front, it was contact or near contact. So I'm guessing about this close, not very far. I guess when they say near contact, they mean closer than 3 inches. Because remember, 3 inches is how they decide. They do 3-inch intervals. So I'm guessing anything shorter than 3 inches is near contact. And anything that's contact is contact. So how do they know contact, you're asking? So apparently, when it's a contact wound, what happens is there's an X. When there's a contact wound, it's literally creates an X in the clothing. So that's how they could tell if it's a contact wound, because an X literally is created in the clothing. So they're saying here it was contact or near contact. So I'm assuming that it was probably just near contact. And there's multiple holes in his back. And they're saying those was created at about 12 inches away. There's a lot of evidence that was entered. The evidence was just photos of the clothes, just so we could be clear. The defense comes to cross-examination. So they ask a question. She only generated test fires. Yeah, no bulletproof vest. R.I.P. Banger, that's a fact. They did not perform DNA testing. She doesn't do that. So the defense came. These are her responses to some of the questions. They only generated test fires, just so we can be clear. They do not perform DNA testing. So as far as DNA testing is concerned, that's shipped to the I didn't do no outlines on here. I usually do outlines that help me get to the stuff quicker, but I didn't do any outlines today. basically, I didn't think that I would forget the name of this thing that I'm trying to remember right now. Is basically it. I thought I had everything in my brain. I actually don't write down a lot, and I keep a lot of things purposely inside of my head just in case anybody tries to steal my paperwork. So you can't understand it. What day was it? It was the third day, right? Hold on. I'm going to day 3. Day 1. Day 3. That's day 2. Day 3. The office of the medical examiner. So they don't she doesn't deal with the DNA testing. They send that out to other people or whatever the case is. They do collect it, I believe, but they don't send it. They don't take care of it herself. So she said that they don't do DNA testing. Also said that not an expert on firearms, only gunshot residue. So she's not an expert on guns. She's only an expert on gunshot residue. Can with no certainty tell the distance. She also said that she can't be exact about the distance that the gun was fired. She was also unaware of any variables when it was fired, meaning that sometimes the angle of the weapon in contrast with the target that's being hit could make the distance seem greater or lesser depending. So basically she said that she can with no certainty tell the distance because of the variables that they didn't actually implement when they was doing their testing. So it's all just, a roundabout. She does not contact gunshot primer residue. She doesn't conduct it. The gunshot residue can be affected by activity, meaning if people was moving around, jostling around or whatever, it can be affected. Like if you, basically, what I think the defense was trying to get to is the gunshot residue that was on Troy Ave's garments. Troy Ave had to get medical assistance. So because of the medical assistance, I'm guessing, could the gunshot residue have been affected? I mean, she can't say yes or no, but what she can say is what she did say, that the gunshot residue can be affected by activity. And then he specifically mentioned, when you're getting medical treatment at the hospital. So, but the lead would still be present, she said. Trace materials absorbed, but not collected. Wasn't requested. They apparently trace materials, they observed them, but they didn't collect them, meaning that they could have been other materials or other foreign substances on the clothes that they actually did see was there, but it wasn't asked to be collected. Like that was just something that was not considered. So they was like, why waste your times? And also no way to tell the sequence of the order of the shots, saying that there's no way to tell which shot, who shot first, which round was fired first. So that's what they're saying. And then it's just a whole lot of evidence, just so we can be clear. So I wrote down all of the evidence, but this is probably not nothing that we have anything to do with at the moment, just so we can be clear. I wrote down a lot of evidence, but this is not anything for us to do with anything at the moment, just so we can be clear. I wrote down all the evidence, but this is not nothing for there to be at the moment. So I wrote down the evidence for my own personal, for, you know, later on when more things come out for me to be able to go back to. But I will say this, once again, I just want to point out, Exhibit 5, they're saying that a detective in an unrelated shooting, I don't even understand why this is here. They're saying that the shooting is unrelated. A detective in an unrelated shooting got DNA testing done for a drink that Casanova was drinking out of, for a bottle that Casanova was drinking out of. So I don't know what all of that is about. I don't have the slightest idea what all of that was about. They haven't made the relevance of why Casanova's name consistently keeps coming up. What I'm thinking is that when they call the witnesses, because they got at least 2 witnesses who are cooperating witnesses, I'm assuming when they call the cooperating witnesses, that's when Casanova's name is going to come up again. Also, as far as I know, they keep pushing Casanova's sentencing back. So this might have something to do with that. Anybody know when Casanova's supposed to be sentenced? Hold on, I'm going to check. Let me see if I can find it real quick. See, this is old. They said December 6th. That had to be old. I don't have the slightest idea when Casanova is about to be sentenced. It keeps saying December 6th, but they moved the date back, didn't they? I'm pretty sure they moved the date back. I haven't heard about him being sentenced. Okay, hold on. They telling me about a whole different Casanova. Hold on. I don't know when he's supposed to be getting sentenced. But as far as I know, they keep pushing his sentencing back. So I don't know when he's supposed to be getting sentenced. I don't have the slightest idea. Anybody know when he's supposed to be getting sentenced? Hold on. I think I found it. I think it said April 26th. Hold on. Casanova sentencing date has been pushed back to April 26th. There is a dude that is actually going to be taking the stand in this trial. He's a cooperating witness. They have him on the phone, on a wiretap with Casanova. April 26th. April 26th. So it's after this trial. So Casanova's sentencing is after this trial is done. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of the reasons in which why it was moved back is because of this trial. I just wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying that that's why, though. I don't know. I haven't gotten the slightest idea, but I can tell you that it's been moved back to April 26th from December 6th. It's a sentencing, right? Sentencing gets moved back. Don't get this confused. It happens. But as his name is coming up, pardon me, a lot in this trial. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. His name is coming up a lot in this trial. All I got to say is this. We got to figure out how to stop hating on each other. We got to figure out how to stop arguing with each other. And we got to figure out how to stop trying to one-up each other. Sometimes you just got to say, all right, you got it, and move on. I promise you, the person that moves on is the person that wins. I promise you. The person that some BS is going on with two individuals, the person that says, man, I don't got no time for this, and moves on and goes on with his life, that's the person that wins. I promise you. Don't let nobody lie to you. The person that moves on with their life, that's the person that wins. I promise you. Sometimes you just got to move on. You got to let people stay stuck in whatever they stuck in. Nah, you got it, Holmes. Just go about your life. Yo, look. The only people that want to fight is broke niggas. I'm going to say this again for everybody that don't get it. The only people that want to fight is broke niggas. What? When we see a person that got it, that got money, got all of it, and they out here trying to fight, what do we all think? What is people thinking about John Morant right now? Thinking he a whole idiot. He probably going through some kind of, John Morant is probably going through some kind of depression though. John Morant probably going through some kind of depression or something. But yo, the only people that want to fight is broke niggas. That's it. That's the only people that want to fight. People that got something to lose, they not trying to get into random bullshit ass fights with people over nothing. It's people that don't have nothing. Walking around the street angry. That's why it's bananas that to have successful people on the internet going crazy talking about when I see you. What the hell are you talking about? Y'all both successful. Go be successful over there, and you go be successful over there. I don't understand it. Only people that want to fight is broke niggas. I promise you. When I hear niggas always talking about how they want to fight this person and fight that person, I get away from them. They ready to self-destruct. I don't want to get dragged with them. Yeah, I just said April 26th a second ago. You was just late, Bruce Banner. We done got that information like 10 minutes ago, man. Any questions? My back is killing me. Not even my back, my shoulder. Any questions? I'm here. I'm here. Any questions? You read a lot of exhibits in. Some of the stuff is interesting, right? But I'm not talking about it because I want to talk about it in the context when it comes up in court. So then I'll be able to, I got index to reference. And she was shooting through this part, like faster than she normally talk, which is fine, by the way. She's doing her job. Like, so I'm not knocking nobody. But she was shooting through this shit. Dumb quick. Any questions? Anything y'all want to speak about or ask me about specifically involving this case? And I don't want to talk about that man underwear no more. The way she said this shit didn't make no sense though. Courts tomorrow. Courts tomorrow. We should be in court Monday through, I don't know if this is the Thursday we're not going to be in court, but we should be in court Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I think Thursday, this might be the Thursday we're not in court though. I have no idea about the outcome of the case. We're 4 days into a case that's supposed to be 31 days. How can I possibly even have an idea of what the outcome would be? Bruce Banner said, if the defense is saying Troy shot Banger, Troy Ave would be dumb not to testify. I agree, 100%. 100%. That would be him. First of all, in order, if he can't get the prosecution to tell the judge to go lenient on him if he doesn't help the prosecution. That's one. His charges that he has, he cannot beat. He's seen on camera firing the weapon one time, and the other three, well, in one instance, they have video of him firing the weapon in the club. Nobody was hit, thank God. And then 3 weapons they took out of a stash box of his vehicle. So he cannot beat those charges. These are not charges he can beat. This isn't a situation where, he's gonna go and be like, yo, I think I got this one. This is not charges he could beat. These charges are not beatable. That's what, I don't mean to be a dick, but because his situation, I can speak about that. The charges that Troy Ave is going through, he cannot beat those charges. Those charges are not beatable. And for the people that like to use, the idea of self-defense, this is New York City. It is so hard to be able to win a self-defense case in New York City. It's bananas. But I do want to say this for all of y'all guys that's running around with them guns. Hearing how they handle and break down the gun shit, my dude. I don't know what y'all was doing a couple of years ago to get away with guns after you done shot somebody. But if you shoot somebody with a gun nowadays, homie, the only way you're not going to jail is if you change your name and disappear. Whose charges are you trying to know? You shoot somebody nowadays, my man, it's a wrap. You might as well just go turn yourself in. I don't know. So all of you guys running around shooting people in broad daylight, running around shooting people at all, it's a wrap. You might as well just go turn yourself in. You might as well be like, I'm here, boss. Where's my cat? You might as well ask him. Troy Ave is attempt murder. That's a max of 25. And possession of firearms. And those maxes are 15 apiece. So he's facing 45 plus 25. What's that? 70? He's facing a possible 70 years in prison. If you don't believe me, you could go look it up. I just told you. So when you go look it up, you're gonna waste your time. You can go look it up, but I just told you. You're gonna be like, Jack gotta be wrong. I'm hating. You're gonna be there. It's gonna be like 3 hours later. You're gonna be like, I found it. It's gonna say exactly what I said. You're gonna be like, oh damn. I could have believed him, but I didn't. I decided not to believe him. I didn't want to believe him. I should have believed him. Jack knew what he was talking about. I don't know if that was a real or fake inner city press that I kicked. I think that was a fake inner city press. To be honest with you. Any other questions? Anything y'all want to add? We got 145 people in here. First of all, could we hit the like button? Second, somebody has to have a question other than do I think he's gonna be found guilty? There has to be a question other than that question. Like, that can't be the only question. So we just had the one witness today. There's a lot of prints. There was prints that they wasn't suitable to be picked up off of the firearms also, just so we can be clear. Also, just so we could be clear, the way that they keep bringing up Casanova's name is crazy. Do any of you guys have an idea why they keep bringing Casanova's name up? Like, Casanova's name keep popping up, even though they're like, he ain't got nothing to do with this, but Casanova. It's kind of crazy. TAXSTONE's family comes every day. I don't know if that's his mom's. That might be his mom's. But TAXSTONE's family comes every day. Is who cooperating? Casanova? They didn't even offer Casanova anything. Like, they didn't really offer him a deal. He just pled guilty. So they don't keep adding charges like I told y'all they was going to do. Remember I told y'all? They're going to keep adding charges. He just pled guilty, so they stopped adding charges. But I already told y'all that already, though. I told y'all exactly what the DA was going to do. The DA did exactly what I told you they was going to do. That's a fact. Tell me where the lie at. Josh says they just wanted cats off the street, had too much motion. I agree. DJ says, question, is the shooting of Benga on? No. There is no video evidence. The room that he got shot in did not have a they don't have a camera in that room. The only footage we have of it is somebody with their cell phone. There's no camera in the room where he got shot. There's 0 cameras. So the only footage that's available is from a cell phone. There is no camera in that room. But yes, Tax's family shows up every day. Benga's family show up every day. Yes, Troy's attempted murder was from when he started firing the weapon inside of the club. Yes, Trife was definitely there today. Like, you can see he going through it, man. He lost his brother. You can tell that there's a lot of love there, you know? You can tell. You can tell there's a lot of love there. You understand? He lost his brother, man. I think people need to be I don't know. You can tell, man. It's a lot of love. He's there every day. He's there every day. There's no trial on, there's no court on Friday. I know that for a fact. I'm not sure if there's court on, this might be the Thursday that there's no court. Some of these Thursdays there's no court. I don't know if it's this Thursday or next Thursday, but there is no court on Friday. The only Friday that there's going to be court on is the 31st. The feds picked what up, Lana? Oh, didn't he plead guilty to having a gun in the club? Yes, he pled guilty to having a gun in the club, but that was federal. Lana's right. Shout out to Lana. Lana Lang up in his. Damn, my fucking shoulder. I never put this in the chat, so I gotta remember. I guess he doesn't. I guess he does. He still looks like TAXSTONE. I forgot to wipe this camera off, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Look at that shit. Give me 1 minute. sheesh. There you go. God dang it. Hold on. I had y'all looking through this unwiped lens, and I be getting on people about not wiping their lens too. I be like, yo, why y'all not wiping your lenses over the years? I don't know if I can see a difference. I might not be able to see a difference. Also, go cop your BBN merch. Go cop your BBN merch. Link in the bio. I'm linking the description. Go cop your BBN merch. Go cop your BBN merch. Link in the bio. Yes, of course, I gotta just have my name also, because this is my gear. Go cop your BBN merch. Link in the bio. Link in the description. Do you think Troy Ave seen shooting on it makes it harder for them to win? I mean, I don't know how he would be able to win that case, personally. Regine is so silly. Where could I get one of those at? Like, she's so silly. There's probably some music playing too, but I'm not gonna. Anyway, God. What's a hard case to prove? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not. When I go to court, I can't think about whether I can't go in there thinking about whether somebody is guilty. I can't go in there thinking whether somebody is innocent. I'm just going in there to get the information and then bring it to y'all and then we talk about it. I understand that often I'm gonna say things that one side might not like, but I'm just disseminating the information. And I know other times I'm gonna say things that the other side don't like. I look at it as if everybody is mad at me, I'm probably doing the right thing. If everybody is happy, I'm probably doing the wrong thing. But if one side is angry and the other side isn't, then I have to look at what I'm doing. If as long as both sides are consistent with their anger or their like, then maybe I'm doing the right thing. It's not that easy for remember, I'm black. If I was a white dude, people I could say whatever I want to say. You understand? I could even be biased if I was white. But I'm not white. I'm black. So, you know, we don't think that our own people could inhabit these spaces. You understand? Like, we try to put limits on our own people. You understand? So that's why when you black and you do a media, you kind of shouldn't even be doing black media. Like, my life will be a lot easier if I covered Caucasian media. To be honest with you, to be fair, because we deal with gossip too much. So people really believe anytime you saying something that they don't agree with, you gossiping, because our communities deal with gossip too much. We deal with what's that chick that had the show? Wendy Williams is of the world. That's what our community deal with. We deal with so much gossip. You understand? So when somebody comes and they just doing real news, we don't even know how to accept it. So, no, it is what it is. I'm gonna do what I do. I know that, bro. Any regard. Is there anything else anybody want to ask, talk about, or whatever? Dan says, I believe Tax not being seen when the shooting happened makes it hard to pin the murder on him. I think that's what his defense team is leaning very heavily into. Their whole thing is only one person is saying that TAXSTONE fired the weapon, and that's Troy Ave. And they're saying Troy Ave fired the weapon. So, I don't know. A lot of the evidence that is being proposed, and you can look at the evidence. I don't know what to tell you. The defense, I'm going to tell you something that the defense said in their opening statements. Hold on. I gotta get those things where you could put the mark on the outside of the page. You know, like them section shits, like from high school and elementary school and shit. I need them things. Um. So hold on, let me tell you what the defense said. That lends to what you're just saying. The person that just said what they saw. The defense closed out their opening statement by saying, balance witness motives against evidence. Verbatim. That's what he said. Balance the witness's motives against evidence. That's how he ended his closing statement. Before that, he said people cooperate because they want to go home. One witness ID case. Balance witnesses' motives against evidence. That's what the defense team said on the way out of their opening statement. So I don't know. It's however you want to take it. Look, at the end of the day, some family is going to go home heartbroken. Nobody wins. Nobody wins. There's already a man that he's not here no more. Nobody wins. Do you think it was a coincidence that Math has the barbershop set up for his podcast, being that TAXSTONE? That a lot of people did barbershop podcasts. No, I don't. I don't think that that's nothing. I don't think that that's nothing. A lot of people got barbershop podcasts. Fucking neck, yo. A lot of people got barbershop podcasts. So does what's this guy's name? LeBron James, right? Troy doing these interviews over the years could be used against him. I think that that's a good chance that the interviews that Troy Ave did could be used against him. I'm going to assume RR is talking to everybody except for me because it's my job to do my job. My job isn't to be concerned with whether anybody is guilty or innocent because I'm reporting directly from the courtroom. That's not my job to determine, to speak about whether somebody is guilty or innocent. I'm reporting directly from the courtroom. I'm not concerned with, it's not my job to be concerned with those things. If I'm concerned with those things, I'm not going to be able to hear what I need to hear in order to be able to give you the information the appropriate way. What up, Nick the Slick? What up, Brooklyn Gold? So those aren't my jobs. Y'all can have those conversations in the chat. That's not my job, though. I don't know if Troy Ave approached TAXSTONE or not. Troy Ave has a rendition of the story, and I'm assuming TAXSTONE has his rendition of the story. Ark G says, hard case to prove. Sounds like a bunch of shots went off during the struggle with a gun. Possibly. That's what it sounds like. They said TAXSTONE threw the gun. It wasn't taken. What do you mean he threw the gun? He threw the gun that had bullets in it? What the fuck? So he thought he was firing at Superman. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to laugh at this shit. What the fuck are you talking about? Part of my language. TAXSTONE threw the gun. You said they can't use TAXSTONE's, you can't use Troy Ave's interviews because he didn't go into details about the shooting. You don't think that they could possibly just use the interview even if he didn't go into details about the shooting to show state of mind? Because I'm pretty sure that they can. It's will they or not? DJ said, nah, Troy took it. He thought he threw the gun like the guy was, he thought Troy Ave was Superman. Because, you know, like back in the days in those old Superman shows, when they shoot Superman and run out of bullets, they throw the gun at him. I never understood that. And then Superman moves out of the way of the gun. Like, why? Yes, they could use interviews as a character assessment. Exactly. So, the people just be talking. People just be talking. But that never made sense. Like, they shoot the bullets at Superman, he stands there, and then they throw the gun, and then he dodges the gun. Like, what the hell, Superman? Like, what the hell, fam? Okay, so Foots718 says, it's crazy. This dude is nobody talking about taxes. You really are DR. Yeah, just kick him. Dan says, do you think the DNA, I have no idea what DR means. Says, do you think the DNA is gonna make it out far as who shot who? I have no idea. Arc G says he said he bullied the bullies in his interviews. Yes, he did. Talking about TAXSTONEs. Brooklyn Goat said a lot of people said Troy came in the room looking for trouble. Possibly. What do I know? We just had one witness in court. That witness and a lot of evidence read into testimony. My neck is messed up. A lot of evidence read into testimony. Only had one witness that actually spoke. That one witness was Vanessa Martinez, and she spoke about the gunshot residue and how they she spoke about the gunshot residue basically and how close the gun was from the target, from the people that got shot. That's what she spoke about. That's it. You're going to have to rewind. I don't want to repeat the whole entire thing that I said. You're going to have to rewind and watch it from the beginning, my brother. But if you have a question, I'll be more than happy to answer the question. No, as long as the question isn't having me repeat an hour's worth of conversation. That don't make sense. Dan says Troy was on Math Hoffa show pretty much talking about how he about that life. That is not a good idea. How do I know what day Troy Ave is testifying? I have no idea. You think the defense is coming up to me like, yo, Jack? I mean, the prosecution is coming up to me like, yo, Jack, when you think Troy Ave should testify? I don't know. They haven't been consulting with me. They haven't been consulting with me. I don't have the slightest idea. Like, yo, Jack. When you think Troy Ave testified? I believe they have to lay down a lot of groundwork, so I wouldn't expect for him to testify yet. Also, they're probably still prepping him. They probably got to prep the hell out of that guy. Oh, shoot. I forgot to ask about the time served. And I had the opportunity to. I got to ask them about the time served. Thank you. Somebody is noticing that somebody is asking a silly question. Because when people be coming in here asking me silly questions, I don't know. Did Dan ask him silly question? I don't know. But please call the people out that come in here. Somebody call the people out when they come in here asking a silly question. I've been just ignoring it as of late because I don't got time for it. But if y'all want to call them out, not disrespect them and get into an argument with them, but be like, yo, how does that question make sense? Please do. Please do. Don't tell me who to kick. I don't know if I believe he already pled to the gun. They already gave him time. He already got his time for the gun. Gun in New York, I think it's a federal, so I don't know what it is. I'm not 100% sure. But I do hear a lot of people saying that if he beats this, then he's gonna have time served on the gun charge. It's possible. I don't know. But if he already served his time on the gun charge, why wouldn't they? Oh, because they still holding him for this trial, and you don't have no bond. It would be interesting to see how this turns out and see if the outcome can affect people like K Flock's case. K Flock is on a totally different other time. I don't know what to tell you, but K Flock, I don't know what to tell you. I don't think I'm going to cover the K Flock trial. I don't think I'm going to cover that. I don't know if I'm going to cover that. I honestly don't know if I'm going to cover that. He's not going to even have a trial. I don't even think K Flock is going to have a trial. Like, they putting them boys away forever. They trying to put them boys away forever. They trying to put them away forever. Forever. Did you see what a dude posted on social media that he said 85% of the 85% of the evidence against them is stuff that they posted on social media themselves. Go figure. No, I'm not covering. I'm like this with covering the K Flock trial, right? I'm gonna explain why. You got about 4 or 5 of those guys that's basically they're not coming home. Like they're not coming home, homie. These guys were on social media doing so much. It's bananas at this point. And then they got caught up in a RICO, and y'all know how RICOs go. Them guys ain't coming home. But, you know, I don't really want to speak on it. We just got to do better. I don't know what to tell you. We got to do better. Everybody want to be a tough guy. I was walking down the block today, and some dude walked past me and went like this and shit. And I just looked at the dude, and I'm like, that's Satan trying to create a situation because he think he's tough. So he probably got a gun on him or something. Like, that's Satan trying to create a situation. I said, all right. Don't worry. I'll be bumping into you. I'll be walking past you when ain't nobody around and I know it's just me and you. I'm gonna walk a little extra close on that day and see what it is. Don't worry about it. But I want to avoid all problems. But that's how I'll be thinking. You know what I'm saying? But I want to avoid all problems. Like I said before, man, it's broke niggas that always want to fight, man. Sometimes you got to think for others. That's a fact. It's broke niggas that always want to fight. It's niggas that don't got no money. And it's not money. It's niggas that don't got no vision. They don't have nothing in life. They figure 10 years from now, they're going to be in the same situation they're in right now. Those are the dudes that always want to fight. Broke niggas. Mentally broke niggas. Niggas that don't have no vision. They don't think they're going nowhere in life. They figure they're going to end up dead or in prison. Those are the dudes that always want to fight. And they always want to fight people that got something going on good for themselves. So sometimes you just got to be the sucker. I don't know what to tell you. Sometimes you just got to be the sucker, man. I learned that the hard way. I learned that the hard way. Sometimes you just got to be the sucker, man. For real. People just be talking crazy. That's why I don't want to get into. You know, notice the dude that usually do most of the talking is usually the guy that get beat up. I don't get involved in none of this. Like, I got things I'm trying to do with my life. I got things that I want to do. I want to project out into the universe. I want the world to be a better place. I don't got time for it. So when I see people that just got a problem, I just be like, well, first of all, you are the problem is with you. You have an internal issue. You have a struggle that you're going through. And every time you see me, all that happens is that I'm showing you your own deficiency. So you got an issue. And there's other people that's just mad because I covered it on YouTube. I can't help it. You want to be on YouTube. Maybe you should go put in all that work that I put in, all of that time, all that effort to go create content. I create a myriad of different types of content. Maybe you should do the same thing I do. Maybe you should work on different things that interest you and see what hit. Like, it just take a little bit of work. People don't want to do no work though. People just want to see somebody else doing a thing and try to tear it down. They don't want to try to do anything on their own. They just hate. So you gotta, like homie said, you gotta think for other people. It's a fact. Sometimes you gotta think for other people, man. Right here, K Flock's co-defendant Sticky say he's facing 30 years after refusing to tell on K Flock. They's gonna let the man out of jail if he told. I don't have the slightest idea. Hopefully the Knicks. What up, Smoke? He said they fought at Rolling Loud together. Guess we gotta fight these people together. It's all fun and games till them people come. They said, tell us about Kevin. Help yourself. 30 years is a long time. And he says, well, I guess I'll be in here for 30 years. Anyway, it's going on 11:30. I know I started late, y'all. My apologies. I'm gonna start a little bit earlier next time. I need to go get me some grub, make me a couple of sandwiches or something. I'm hungry up in this bitch. Everybody, we're gonna court is in the morning. We should be at court in the morning, one way or the other. We're gonna be at court in the morning, and we're gonna be have our usual when we go do court. We have our midday update. So pull up for the midday update tomorrow. It should be usually we go to lunch. Well, we go to lunch at a certain time. Pull up for our midday update tomorrow. Everybody, please just have a beautiful day. Um, I don't know which dude from the Clippers got suspended. I don't even know what you're talking about. I haven't been a part of. That's not the guy from the Clippers. That's the guy from the Grizzlies, John Morant. He got suspended, and he deserved to get suspended. But he's in trouble for something else also. They're not allowed to bring their guns on chartered flights, and apparently he brung his gun on a chartered flight on a team activity. So he might be in trouble for that, and that's why he's getting. That's why they said something like 50 plus games. I don't know about it though. I don't know if he's gonna definitely get the 50 plus games, but that's why they're talking about 50 plus games for him, because he allegedly brought his gun on a charter flight. Anyway, we out of here. If you enjoyed the show, you could always pull up to our Cash App, our PayPal, or you could go cop some merch, show some support to the channel. I'm out there every day. We're going to see what case we're going to try to cover after this one. We'll see what we're going to do. But besides that, everybody just have a beautiful night. If you got anybody still awake in your household, give them a hug. Tell them you love them. You don't never know what's going to happen tomorrow. Give people their flowers while they're still here. Also, remember, drink water before and after waking up, because it's going to help with the body, and you always want to get some water in you when you have an empty stomach. It helps the body absorb the nutrients quicker, better. And whenever we helping somebody else be the best them that they could be in that moment, we being the best us that we could be. So go out there and be great. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the notification game. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you, and that's all I got on this one. I'm out.